Off and just trying to work some fundamentals. Didn't do any scout team things yet. We'll get back into Nebraska a little bit, studying those guys tomorrow. But just want to come out here and knock some of the rust off, and then keep moving forward.
Garrett Hudson's had to play for you more the last couple weeks. What have you thought of his play?
I think he's done a good job for us. He's got in there, and the thing that he does well is he knows the defense. He's getting guys lined up, and making all the right calls.
He's a pretty physical player. He tries to be.
Yeah, I think he tries to put his face in there and get guys on the ground. That's what you want your Mike backer to be able to do.
Will you just stay in that rotation now without Juwan?
Say it again?
Will you just stay in that rotation
Yeah.
without Juwan,
Yes.
even when Jimmy comes back?
We'll see where Jimmy is, but you'd like to put Jimmy into the Mike, and then he'll stay inside as the backup. Yeah.
Any more word on DJ?
Yeah, high ankle sprain. He's moving around okay for 5 days away from the game, but it'll be a day-to-day thing for him.
His high ankle sprain is typically more like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's
too,
usually
right?
the back end of 2 weeks, but he's moving pretty good for the first couple of days out. I was surprised actually how well he was moving around.
Just they announced today the upgrade to the Mullen Cough. We've had a lot of input into how that's going to look. Just kind of your thoughts on that project and how sorely it's needed.
Well, I am so thankful for President Daniels and Morgan Burke and obviously the new chairman of the board, Mike Burbaugh, for seeing the need for us to have that new complex to help us become more competitive. It takes a lot of people to put this thing together. And those guys have been rock stars, all three of those guys. And to me, it speaks to the importance of football around Purdue, and that's what we need. And I'm thankful for those guys, and it's much needed. We're behind in terms of those facilities, and we need to catch up. And that'll help us not only with our current guys and being able to use that auxiliary space that we spend so much time in terms of teaching, but also in terms of recruiting the elite athlete that we need to recruit here.
You could take now a physical plan and show recruits, right?
We can. Well, it's not been board approved in December, but we feel like we're getting closer and closer to being able to do that with our recruits.
You've seen the physical, the renderings and the drawings and everything. What are your thoughts on the building itself?
I think it's beautiful, and I think our players are going to love it once they get into it, and I think our recruits are going to just go crazy once they see what the plan is.
On your end, it's got to be pretty exciting to think about down the line. When a guy comes in and you're able to show off this brand new beauty, I guess to say.
Well, I tell you, there's nothing like being able to pound your chest about the things that you have and being able to walk a future recruit in here. But again, it's about our current players as well and helping those guys develop to be able to play at a high level. I think it's going to be a phenomenal reward for the entire campus Purdue community.
What limitations do you have then, right, with the way it currently is?
Well, you're dealing with a lot of time issues in terms of getting back and forth from things. We're down a couple of meeting rooms that we should have. The receivers and the defensive backs, they have to meet in our team meeting room. They can't leave things up on the board to study. There's so many little things that, we've been able to make do with. But, if you want to take the next step, you have to do these things where we can have an advantage with our current players as well as incoming people.
Just something simple like the locker room where you can look at everybody.
Yeah, our locker room, it was a nice locker room a long time ago when it was designed, and it's outdated. And we wanted a wide open locker room so I can sit in the middle and talk to our team, and so all eyes can be, on what we're telling our guys. And there's so many things about this new building that will be up that will help us. Just the recovery pools for our guys that are hurt, and to be able to get guys back faster. Those are all benefits for us.
Is it part of it the fact that you're going to have everything you need in this facility, like Sunday through Friday? That it's kind of the center area for all your players to be at for those 6 days?
Yeah, we talked about being very efficient with our time, and everything will be under that one roof. And being able to move guys around from the team meeting room to the position meeting rooms to down to the training room, all those things that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you lose 3 or 4 or 5 minutes and you only have a certain amount of time that you get them for the course of a week, it helps you so much in the long run.
What was it specifically that you liked out of your defensive front? I mean, I know you have mentioned it, you know, in the Big Ten South Conference, but those three juniors specifically combined, I think, 5 or 6 TFLs in that game for you.
I tell you what, those are 3 players that we brought in a few years ago that really are starting to get how to play the game at a high level. Jake Raploga, Rajan played at a high level. Evan Panfil may have had his best game ever. But there was other guys too. And you're starting to see them understand the defense and how fast you have to play against good people and how to drop their shoulders. It gave you a lot of excitement when you watched the film on Sunday about, you know, the direction that those guys are headed.
Because it's about production, which we've talked about, and which I asked Evan after the game too. I mean, you had said that too. It's not just about being in the right spot. You need to take the next step to then make plays.
And they did, and they did. I thought all 3 of those guys created some havoc in the backfield, and you know, I think they're just scratching the surface. And you know, it takes guys sometimes a little bit longer. And Jake's been doing it for a while. Jake's been very productive for us, but Evan's starting to become more productive. Rajan's starting to become more consistent. Those guys on the outside have been consistent, frankly, you know, those older players. But the more and more young guys you can bring along, the better the chances are to win football games.
Do you need those guys even more without Juwan and some of the injuries that might happen?
Yes, we do. You know, I think it's very important that, you know, those plays that Juwan was making, those 10 tackles, someone else has to step up and make those plays for us.
How are Frankie and Anthony playing? You know, before the season, we were talking about these guys as potentially, you know, the best quarterback combination in the Big Ten. Have they lived up to that in your eyes?
I think, absolutely, I think they've played extremely well. I think not hearing their name says a lot about them. I mean, they're not picking on those guys, trying to go after those guys. They may not have the numbers that a lot of people may have, but they're not getting to them.